And we're like, I collect motorcycles. You know, can I tell you, I
collect motorcycles?
I stopped buying watches.
We gotta hang out, man.
I stopped buying. Yes, we should. I stopped buying watches when I got to California because I realized that a watch and a motorcycle kind of cost the same thing. Like you walk in a store, I'm like, oh man, how much is that? It's like $18,000. What does it do? Well, it tells time.
Yeah,
I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it. Right
for $18,000 at the Ducati dealer, you're going 180 miles an hour.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
He was there at the beginning of the paper.
Was this literally his newspaper?
Yeah, he was one of the two founders.
Wow. So that's unbelievable. That's a real deal thing. This is from 2000 and something recent. Wow, cool.
He's my dad's the godfather of soul.
Oh,
ow! You need a button for that.
I know.
Okay.
I don't need I need another producer to get the the laugh tracks.
Yeah, the symbol. Okay.
Yeah. You have literally shown up. We didn't want to touch this box. You brought a duffel bag with these boxes in it, and these boxes, for those in the listening portion, this is like a baseball card tin with a snowman on it, or a cookie tin.
It was a cookie.
I think I have Christmas decorations or something like that from some old family members in tins like this.
I definitely have old baseball cards in plastic things in tins like this.
It's not a watch case.
No, but there's like an AP just like peeking out right here. No protection. No, nothing. Just chilling in the tin. Is this all?
And there's another one.
Is this these watches all the time, Holmes?
No, they get swapped out.
Oh, and look, a Batman.
Yeah.
So you brought a lot of watches. So do any of these? Wow, here's a Submariner.
Yeah.
Is that a Panerai? Yeah. All right. Wow, we've got a whole like bouquet of watches here. Jesus, man. Do any of these watches have emotional? Jesus, look how thick this is. That's a beast.
Oh, that's the anti-magnetic titanium.
I
like that one. I like that one.
Titanium
Yeah.
Panerai.
I had a Panerai period.
Anyway, let's talk about fakes. Should we? We've got actually, and we're fortunate enough to have some real examples of some of these side by side. I don't know. Just start opening
similar watches.
Let's just start opening bags. We don't need to really format this.
There's gonna be some other little clues to look for.
Okay. You want to give me some clues, Cameron?
Well, I was just gonna pull that back and show you the tube there. But clue number one is that it needs some service, even if it's fake or real.
If you can rip the crown directly off the watch with a minimal of effort, you might have a fake on your hands. That's not good.
You can open up the crown and you can check the tube there. Let's open this up because the case back's actually loose enough. I can just pop it off on the fake.
Cool. What is the movement in the fake?
We can check out this beauty.
What do you got there?
So this it has a loose oscillating weight.
Oh, that's not
here.
gone well. Great.
Anyway, this is an ETA movement.
Oh, really?
It's a Swiss movement fake. So this was probably a pricey fake to begin with.
Yeah, I bet it was like a few $100.
At least, yeah.
1848, Louis Brandt starts La Générale Watch Company. 1932, the Olympics come to Los Angeles.
Yes.
And this, you want to take this one? Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just proud that it was the Los Angeles Olympics where Omega became the first and only, right? They were the only ever Olympic sports timer. They've been the official Olympic sports timer since 1932, and that happened in Los Angeles.
1957 is the year of Omega, because they came out with all three of their most iconic watches: the Seamaster Professional, the Railmaster, and the Speedmaster Professional. All three in 1957.
Yeah.
You can actually buy the reissues as a trilogy. That's where I got this website. These are the original pictures, but you can buy all the reissues of these as a trilogy right now. Michael Sendrovich from the On Time podcast. What's happening, sir?
Not much.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And the Road Stories podcast as well.
Yeah.
Podcaster. You threw out Independence because you said you were particularly passionate about it.
Yeah.
So we have an Independence
in
our studio.
So we're just going to talk about Cameron the entire time.
We
Perfect.
can.
I know plenty about Wise Watch Company.
What does make something independent, Cameron?
For me, there needs to be a watchmaker who is personally involved in the ownership of the brand and also the design.
Okay.
To me, that makes it independent. So there's some brands that stand alone outside of a big corporate structure, and they just have one watch brand that they produce. But I don't necessarily consider them a true independent watchmaker. I consider them an independent brand.
Breguet? Just Breguet, right?
Breguet.
It was lovely. I mean, when I put it on my wrist, I felt sexy. I felt like I had a $500,000 on my wrist. It's the Watch and Listen podcast. Let me be like Mr. Rogers and put my watch on right now. Although, truth be told, not wearing shoes. Came from the gym, not wearing shoes. My trainer makes me work out barefoot, working on my arch muscles. Leon Breitling, 1884, sets up shop in Saint-Imier. I don't know. What are your thoughts on what does Breitling mean to you?
I love the fact that they were privately held for so long.
Yeah.
Especially being in
one of the last
same
independents.
family.
Can we call them an independent? Not really, right?
I
mean, they were privately held, but that doesing necessarily make them independent.
Yeah, I
right?
wouldn't say they're independent now, but they were before they sold.
Yeah. Pre-2017.
Yeah, they weren't owned by a big watch group.
So we got Chef Carl Ruiz in the building.
Hello.
Hello. You are a Food Network chef, a restaurateur,
Yes.
a lover of cars and watches, one of the most street smart people I know, one of the smartest dumb guys out there.
That's me.
And
I eat paste.
yeah, but we call it pate.
Pate.
It's $10,000 an ounce.
Wonder what the poor people.
No, what is your What was your thing? Not steaks with snakes.
Oh, I'd rather eat crumbs with bums than steaks with snakes.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
The biggest problem modern watches have is that the hands are too small.
Interesting.
You know, like via like the Rolex Explorer.
I just picked up this Glashuta, and the hands are quite thin.
They're very thin,
And the length as well.
and the
The length, are they usually too short or too
Yeah,
long?
sometimes they're too short and they don't touch the minute track.
you see, so the minute hand is great, but the hour hand is painfully short, and these are the things,
That Glashuta does have a very short hour hand.
and that really makes me nuts. And if someone who has short things personally, physically, which explains why, and like a first date for me could be $10,000.
Carl.
Oh, silly small Carl. Little baby arm Carl.
Carl, Cameron, and Spike are the three people that got me into watches. And so, like, Cameron in terms of the manufacturing, Spike in terms of that one is special because it has the long E or whatever. And Carl, I think, is Carl had the best quote about watches that I've ever heard anyone say, which is that it's okay for a man to want a trophy.
I like things that are flashy.
That's okay.
I like shiny things. I'm Cuban. Let me tell you how I got into watches.
Yes.
I used to, when I was 16 years old, I worked for a gangster in a restaurant making veal meatballs in Brooklyn. And he comes up to me and he says, "I'm going to do you a favor, kid. I'm going to do you a favor that's going to help you for the rest of your life." He says, "Come with me." Takes me to Diamond District. So, on your wrist, a real man should always have a watch that can buy the security deposit on a new apartment, a mattress, and a good TV. And if your watch doesn't do that, then it's not a good watch.
That's a good tip.
We live in the golden age of watchmaking, right?
And it's our privilege to welcome the CEO of Panerai, Mr. Jean-Marc Pontrouet.
Nice.
Did I get it?
That's great. You have a wonderful French accent.
All right. I sound extra dumb because of my Seth Rogen voice when I say it. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. My privilege to be. I'm very honored to come here.
Are you a lifelong watch lover, or are you more of the luxury goods retailing giant type? Where do you see yourself in this business?
It's an interesting question to start with. Well, I believe I became addicted to watches when I joined Montblanc. But before Montblanc in 2000, I was not really as a watch passionate. And I became, the more I've learned about that industry, the more I learned about the movements, the types, what makes a success, what doesn't make it. Then I started to become addicted to watches.
Yeah. How many watches do you have now?
About 25.
Yeah, okay, all right.
About
So
25.
yeah, a normal amount for
Yeah. For someone who works for Panerai, yeah.
The fact that it really was designed with purpose, like these were tool watches, and they have evolved into something much more complex that could be, style and dress and how you present yourself to the world kind of thing. But at first, like, these were for divers. Done.
Yeah. Completely sport oriented.
I just knew I was going to wear one. I didn't need 10.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of my mentality to like do that. The magazine is filled with like, you know, booze, food, cars, watches, new and old. You know, listen, it's filled with the stuff that I love, and it's not going to be for everybody, but I know I'm not the only guy out there that likes this stuff.
WM Brown Project on Instagram. What is that?
Okay, William Brown was basically this blog that I started, the William Brown Project, around 2008. And it started out as this kind of diary. And my farm upstate, in upstate New York, was called the William Brown Farm.
Oh, okay.
So
did you buy it that way?
Yeah, it was part of a 500-acre dairy farm
okay.
on William Brown Road. And I was like, what should we call this thing? And since a lot of that stuff was kind of, at least in the early days, happening up there, we just called it the William Brown Project.
I don't know. I feel like lucky to have gotten a watch education and like somehow figured out how to get paid a little bit of money to do that. And also like create something that I guess like some people have enjoyed.